Chris Hopwood here with GT Bicycles, talking with sugarcane.com, and we're here today to show you a couple of new GT products that we have in the lineup for model year 2015. So behind me, you'll see we have the brand new 2015 Sanction. This is a enduro race product. We basically built this in conjunction with Atherton Racing. Specifically, Dan Atherton really had a lot of the design into this geometry-wise, leverage ratios. So we wanted to keep it so that the leverage ratio is exactly like a downhill bike. The suspension will feel very similar to that, but it's 165 mil travel instead of 220. You can run a 160 to 170 fork up front, depending on your preference. With a 160 fork, it's a 66-degree head tube angle with a 74-degree seat tube angle, so it keeps you in a good riding position. You're actually forward enough, you can still pedal this thing uphill. With the rear shock, it does have the Pro 3, the climb, trail, descend, so you can get uphill on this bike, but it is a single ring specific since it is designed for enduro racing. 27.5-inch wheels, and a fairly light frame package, so you can build a complete bike under 30 pounds without having to spend too much money. In the US, this is going to be sold as a frame only. It'll be $2,000 retail. It will come with a Float X CTD, but it will be the Kashima coated version, as well as it will have a remote for the rear shock, so you can actually control the CTD motion on your handlebar. Up next, we have the 2015 Fury Elite. This is a bike we'll be selling in the States. It basically retails for about $3,000. This is our entry-level price point out of the 4 models that we make. Cool thing here is the frame is the exact same exact frame that the team is racing and riding today in Wyndham, so there's no difference. So you can have the exact same product. We just downgrade the spec to get the product to a more entry-level price point. So new changes for 2015. Obviously the biggest one, we're going to a 27.5-inch wheel. We have designed this basically as a race bike for the team. It works really well in the park as well. But at the same time, this was something that we made sure so that it would win World Cups. It goes down to 210 mil of travel versus the 26 version, which was 220. And really that's pretty much about it. Geo changed just a tad to make sure that it worked really well with the bigger wheel size. But beyond that, really didn't change anything. The tubing is the same, leverage ratio stays the same. So the bike should feel exactly the same at 210 as it did at 220. For the entry-level bike that you're seeing here, you're basically going to get a SRAM shifting setup, RockShox domain, dual crown fork to handle all the travel up front, Fox Vanilla R rear shock, and you get some nice Shimano hydraulic disc brakes. Now behind me we have the brand new 2015 Helion Carbon Pro. The Helion is a new model for us. This is actually replacing the Zaskar 100, which was our previous cross-country full suspension product. The new offering that you have here, obviously the biggest thing from the Zaskar 100 is you go down to 27.5-inch wheels. The Zaskar 100 was either 26 or 29. This will come in 27.5 only. We worked extremely hard, on the carbon layups on this bike to maintain and get it to a nice lightweight, what you'd want for a cross-country bike. But the big thing that we did and we changed is we're using the AOS suspension system. So it's the same system that you're seeing on the Sensor and the Force. It got amazing reviews all last year from all the different publications out there. It's extremely efficient, but it also at the same time allows you to have a bike that's very stiff for how lightweight it is. So this bike's going to have a very stiff rear end. It works very efficiently, so it's going to climb like any other cross-country bike out there. The big thing is that we wanted to have a bike that had a little bit of a slacker head angle. So it's a 69.5-degree head tube angle, but that matched with a really long front center and a shorter stem gives you a product that is going to be very confidence inspiring on the descents, which is something that we really wanted to make. Most cross-country bikes, they climb uphill really well, and then usually you're just taking your time getting down. You are pushing it, but we wanted something that you could really be confidence inspiring, and work really well for the descender in you. Beyond that, we're going to have essentially globally, we're going to have 8 models in the States. We're going to be carrying 3 alloy and 2 carbon models. These will start at about $1,550, and then they'll go up to $6,000 for the Helion Carbon Pro that you see in front of me. So we got one more bike for you. This is going to be the 2015 Grade. In front of me we actually have the Grade Carbon Ultegra. I'm sure some of you have seen this out in the press. It's been getting a lot of talk about. It just was featured in Wired magazine. It's going to be featured in some other magazines as well that a little bit more exposure than your traditional bike industry publication. So what makes this bike so unique is the fact that we really tried to look and make something that was as versatile as it could possibly be. It's not, a full-on gravel grinder. It's not your full-on adventure touring, bike. It was something that, and it's not a race bike. So it's something that has this in-between geometry, kind of in between, say, what road and what cross would be. It has a fairly low bottom bracket for this style of bike, so that it still pedals well, it will handle well when you're going down on asphalt roads. The cool thing though is you can, on this bike, you can run up to 35C tires. You can run full fenders. We actually have this little bridgeless seat stay, but you can take this on and off. It's just held on by basically by O-rings. You can take it on, take it off. You can put fenders on. You can take them off. We tucked in the eyelets to make sure everything was nice and hidden. But since you're focusing on this area of the bike, obviously the most notable thing are the seat stays. We use our dual fiber dynamic technology, which is, basically it's a solid glass fiber core, and then it's wrapped in carbon. So the big benefit to that is you end up having a very low modulus material in the glass fiber that has a very, very easy point of basically bending or flexing. And so by using that in the seat stays in combination with high modulus, mid modulus, and lower modulus portions elsewhere on the frame, we can achieve a bike that basically has a ride quality that you have yet to have on a road bike. And as I said, really versatile. You can ride it on dirt, you can ride it on gravel, you can ride it on pavement, you can climb it. It actually is not a bad climbing bike. Oddly enough, most people think, a bike like this with this kind of wheelbase, it's not going to go uphill extremely fast. But at the same time, you have to look at what you want. More comfort, more versatility. And so instead of having 3 or 4 different road bikes, you can essentially have one that will do everything for you. All right, so signing off, this is Chris Hopwood with GT Bicycles. If you have any further questions, please reach out to gtbicycles.com and feel free to check out sugarcane.com. And this guy's awesome. He's getting it done, and you're not going to get any better interviews. Back to you, Billy.